Hello everyone, welcome back to the stream. I'm Martin Wenzel. This is Microsoft Flight Simulator, and we are at Luxembourg Airport in Luxembourg City, Luxembourg for World Tour Flight 151. And we're going to be flying to Federico Fellini International Airport in Rimini, Italy. It's going to be Luxair 501. We're going to be using real life, it's on the Boeing 737-700, and we'll be using the PMDG newly released Boeing 737-700, so that's going to be fun. Hopefully we can get this thing started a lot quicker than we did last night. Hey Melanie and Enzo and Misu, welcome in. Alright, so hello from Scotland, alright. Alright, so let's get inside the plane. And get it started. I'm gonna try out this checklist / flow procedure thing I found. Hopefully it'll be pretty good. And move a little bit quicker than last time. Alright, so we are cold dark. We do have the jetway out. That's how we got in the plane. So we can go over here and turn on our battery. Not using VATSIM yet. I have to set that up, and I need to get much more familiar with this plane before I can do that as well. They've been having a lot of issues with a lot of people jumping onto VATSIM for the first time, or getting into VATSIM but having no idea how to fly this plane and still causing a lot of problems. Hey Oliver. Alright, so I'm just gonna kind of go following this flow list I have. We go in here, go to doors. We're gonna open the front door. Obviously this door should be open. Not gonna do VATSIM today, no. Alright, we got the battery on and covered. What I'm gonna do. Oh, it's not on yet. Typically, this will be on standby power like that. Master caution disengaged. Hydraulic pumps are all off. Fuel pumps all off. Interior lights, panel light. Okay, all those. That's how. Turn up the brightnesses as needed. Hey, Weirafon. Miss flying the F-18, F-15. I haven't flown that a lot. Alright, cabin utility power check. That's on. Not sure where I can check that. IFE pass, C power check on. Oh, I think that's going to be up here. Oh, maybe not. Weird how the sound is. Alright, let's connect the ground power.
Luxembourg Tower, Luxair 885212 miles southwest inbound, ILS runway 06 approach. Luxair 8852 Luxembourg Tower. QNH 29er.9er7, wind 228 at 12. Cleared ILS runway 06 approach.
Alright, so we do have ground power available now, so we're gonna go right here, ground power available. Switch to the ground power.
06 approach, Luxair 8852.
Emergency lights armed and covered. external lights positioned steady. Wheel well on if it's nighttime. Same with logo and the wing, but we don't need those on since it is should be about 11:30 in the afternoon. Yeah, well, it's good to take a little break, so you'll be able to. Once you get that all set up, you'll be ready to go. Alright, back into the FMC. And it's saying I want to go to the payload. I thought I set this empty. Okay, so we want to do that. Empty, same with fuel. I put it down. For some reason it doesn't take. Because we want to use the ground services to actually do all that. Okay, so ground services. We go over here, fuel truck. And our target fuel, 6,749, so we're going to go 6,900. Press the fuel truck. I'm also going to get the passengers. Today we're going to have 115. Cargo, I'm going to put 1,500 in the front, and then we'll put 1,600 back here. Actually, we'll just 1,600 both. Oh, can you see him back there?
Luxair 8852, wind 228 at 12. Clear to land runway 06.
Maisie, can you see him back there? Maybe you can see you. I don't know.
Clear to land runway 06, Luxair 8852.
Alright, so here we have the air truck, the air conditioning truck. Not sure why the jetway went away. Power, we got the loaders, fuel. All from PMDG. Go with this, with their great plane. Hopefully they're going to add in actual little cargo going on and off on these ramps, because nothing's happening right now. Alright, start fueling.
Luxembourg ground Speedbird 417.
And back up here, we're going to turn on the recirculating fan.
Speedbird 417 pushback request accepted.
That's already on auto. Pack left and pack right. We'll set those to auto as well. Speed brake, check down and off. It is. Cockpit voice recorder, don't need to do that. Engine fire test button. Maybe down here. Do our different tests. Oops. Let me check. Let me change that. I know I forgot something.
Luxair 8852, turn next taxiway.
There we go. Now it's right. This is the PMDG 737, so it is payware.
Ground Speedbird 417, requesting the end of pushback. Speedbird 417.
on there for now, so we don't have to hear all the other call outs. Alright, back to this checklist. Jump back up here. Actually, a little bit further up, and we're gonna set these both to nav. Test to make sure the display's working, all the lights. Then go here. We should usually you'll get a countdown, and that'll pop up eventually. I'm doing okay. A little bit tired. Hey, creepy. What are you doing? Is that for Microsoft Flight Simulator? Is that like a freeware one? I know there's... I might have seen that one. It's very... obviously the textures and everything are very basic right now, but someone's working on a free version of that, I believe. Alright, I did all that. I did that test heading... okay, this is actually a pretty good little checklist, flow list. I don't know if the flow's the best, but it gets really detailed. Like, okay, go to your FMC menu, do this. Alright, so what I'm gonna do... I'm actually going to put in all my ground services over here on this screen, and then on this screen we'll do the actual FMS stuff. Alright, so we're going to get in. Let's see. I just said I was going to do that. Let's go back over here and do it on this one. Because we do need to start loading some of that cargo. We'll do the front once the fuel truck goes, then those carts will be able to arrive. We'll get the front. Okay, so init ref. Oh, you actually have to get out of this, I think. Yeah, you have to go. There we go. Index. Pause init page. And we're going to put in our code, which is... is it Echo? Suddenly I can't remember my alphabet. So Echo Lima Lima X-ray. I'm not sure what gate. Different ways you can do this. You can pull it from the GPS, or you can do it from this. I always see a slight difference there. See, I always go off of this one, but it might be this one you want to do. Well, this one actually would make more sense because this is the airport one. I don't know. It probably doesn't matter a ton. I know there are videos where they'll say grab it from here. I, for the longest time, just grabbed it from there. So yeah. So there are different places you can copy that. There's not a huge difference, but you do need to do it. Is that how I want to do it? Yeah. That's usually what I would do. I usually always, when I learned it back in X-Plane, it was always just grab this one. But for some reason, it's not. Usually, this one disappears eventually. Alright. Okay. Let's see. IRS selector left nav. Okay, yeah, we already did that. Okay, this one's saying you should just go to a line, and then you do this, then you do nav. It doesn't really matter. Alright, let's go to the route page. Alright, origin, Echo, Lima, Lima, X-ray. Yes, there is a way you can just pull this in via SimBrief. Some airlines do pull it through the data link, some do it all manually like this. I'm going to do it manually for now because I haven't set it up to do that and gotten it working. So, that's why I'm doing it like this. Lima, India, Papa, Romeo is our destination. Flight number L, or Lima, Golf, Lima, 501. And we are going to be taking off. This actually, you want to call and get your clearance. So let's see if we can get... Oops. And before you do that, make sure you turn on the radio again. Oh, where'd my clearance go now? Oh, there it is. Clearance is broken.
Luxembourg clearance delivery Alitalia 145 IFR to Linate, ready to copy.
Okay, what are they?
Alitalia
Runway
145
6.
is cleared to Linate Airport as filed.
Okay, so that's very helpful because my flight plan has SimBrief is telling me to go from runway 24, but then I'd be going the wrong direction with all the AI traffic. So we're gonna go runway 6. That's why you like to use the in-game ATC. I don't like the in-game ATC, but I use it because of that. So let's go 06. I'll have to check that out. I think I downloaded it and I looked at it and it was like, okay, they're trying to do something here, and hopefully. Yeah, I have a flight where I'm going to be doing the 767, so I'm hoping that maybe I'll use that one for that. I don't know. Alright, here's the route. Let's get it in. Yeah. Let me pull up the flight plan for you guys as well. And let's see. I think that's right there. Alright, there's our route. I'm gonna have to adjust it slightly because we're doing the opposite runway. So runway 6. Departure. Do that one. Okay. So first is Golf Tango Quebec VOR. We're gonna get on Uniform Zulu 343. Well, you don't need to put in the intersection point. Actually, what you can do is just put in the next airway, and it should give you the right one. Now here, yep, it is Begar. Good. Now there are times where there'll be multiple, and so you got to check your map, or you'll get the wrong one, and then you'll have to delete and try it again. Okay. In any case, next one we're going direct. We're going to this waypoint, Resia, and then direct to Charlie Hotel India VOR. Man, does it? I'm just wondering if the A32NX just picked the closest one or something automatically, because lately every time I put in a VOR, it asks me like, well, which one do you want? So it's kind of good to look through your plan. We need the Chioggia, which is 114.10, so it's going to be this one. Oops. Get it up close. Why can't I zoom out now? There we go. Where's my flight plan? Let's see. We're going to get onto Airway Lima 612. And then we'll go to Amlon, and that will be our last waypoint. Alright. I like to just hit activate. Probably want to wait until the very end to do all that, but I just do it there. We're going to be departing runway 6 on, what did I say, Golf Tango Quebec to Tango. And we'll execute that. And then go to arrival. And we'll just put in the arrival, have it all set up, and if we have to change it, we'll change it. Alright, so I'm going to do ILS Zulu 31. We're going to take in Amlon 1 Echo. Transition is going to be Rogak. Glide slope on, execute. And we can actually look through the legs. And oof. Hey, anyone getting? I mean, look at that frame. I'm getting, wow. Like, frame rates are eating it when I'm on, like, looking at these screens. So I don't know what that is. What is causing that? All right. Anyway, I'm gonna go to my plan page. I'm just gonna go step through each point. Okay, you can see the stuff just bumped into alignment. That means our IRS is aligned. So you've got the go around. Alright, all looks good. So we'll go back to map. Alright. Wow, it has been 3 months, hasn't it? Well, we've just been flying a lot, or as much as I've been able to. Every once in a while I miss a day. I'm really busy with work now, and it's kind of dragging. I'm kind of getting burned out. Looking at some other work pretty soon. We'll see if that becomes something. Alright, we're going to release the aft stuff because that's all loaded. Fuel should probably be loaded as well. It is, so we'll release that. And then we'll be able to get the rest of the cargo loaded. While we're over here, we'll start getting the passengers on board. My Pack X disappeared again because it updated, and so now I have to... Yeah, I mean, nothing much has been going on the past 3 months. Otherwise, it's just been work, and streaming when I can. Alright, this Pack X. There it is. Alright, we'll start my Pack X flight so we get the sound effects and everything. Do about 1:25 for the flight. I see this one's arriving. This is holding because I think that fuel truck's in the way now. It's all a little bit of kind of a dance. Whoa. That guy's really loud. Alright. Back to the checklist. See where I'm at. Enter all airways, enter last waypoint, activate, execute. Performance init page. There we go. Auto enter the 0 fuel weight. There we go. I wonder, is that going to change? Let's see, is that accurate? On my flight plan, 0 fuel weight is 50.5, so I don't know if that... Okay, that's changing as people load on. So we're going to have to come back to this page once everything's loaded. Alright, you can start loading. Passengers, we have 38 passengers on board so far. You can get the... Let's see, cost index is... Do some of this stuff on this page. Cost index is 25. Our cruise level is going to be 370. Cruise wind is going to be 265 at 10 knots. Transition level is not 18,000. It's going to be... I believe it's 4,500. Yep, 4,500. Reserve fuel, we have 29, so 14, so we're going to put 3,000 is going to be the reserve. Or 3.0 thousand. See that 0 fuel weight keeps going up as we add more weight to the plane. I can't remember if I'm supposed to -7 or add 7 to this, so I'm just going to leave it. But typically, I think you do something with 7, or I'm not sure where the 7 comes from, so it might be something else. What that was. I'll have to watch that video again from the real Boeing pilot. Execute. Alright, keep going. N1 limit page. Set takeoff power as desired. Alright. We're just gonna go with this one. Take off.
If you're in an emergency exit row, please leave exit seating responsibilities in the car and back in front of you.
Okay, actually I have
Comply with these actions, please let a flight attendant know.
let me see which one is it. This one.
Feel free to use your cell phone.
Q Sim Planner. Creepy Kirk suggested it. So we're going to see how this works. Runway 6. Oh, that's really cool. Kind of bummed that I didn't know about this, and then I bought the little planner thing for the Airbus. Oh well. Alright, even got all the winds and everything in there. Runway service is dry. Maybe real life it's wet, but clearly our weather it isn't. Total takeoff weight. Yeah, that's takeoff weight. Thrust is takeoff, flaps. Alright, so this one I think we're going to need to get from a performance page. Yeah, where's that takeoff weight? Anyone know? Anyone can help me on that? 52.6. Oh, okay, so it's going to be this one? Alright. It's still going up, though. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Gross weight, takeoff weight. I just know it's... I was always looking at the wrong thing, or I was using the wrong number when I was doing it in the Airbus. Until I figured that out. So I'm just... Which one is it? Alright, so... We'll be waiting on that a little bit. So we'll come back to that once everything's loaded. Check my checklist again. Fuel pump aft number 1 is on, and we can start the APU. Alright, so what else we gotta do? Alright, I'm gonna wait on the fuel pumps until, or the APU until we are closer to being ready to go and loaded. But what I'm going to do in the meantime,
You're ready to go when you are.
kind of do a flow through here. So we're going to go, okay, our controls, our flight control things are covered, alternate flaps covered, all these lights are off, spoilers are covered, yaw damper on, and light will go off. These are all set to normal, VHF, IRS, FMC normal, source auto, control panel normal. These lights are on but dimmed. Filter bypass, lights are off. Test the crossfeed, dim, and then, or bright and then dim, valve open, and vice versa. Another thing we want to double check is because we did that, we want to do a lights test and make sure this light is actually working. Because we could have gone back, turned off the crossfeed, and maybe the light was just broken. Also check all of our lights. If there's no lights out. There shouldn't be any because I don't have failures on right now. But in the future, when we turn failures on, that will be very important because this plane has lots of failures. I think almost any failure you could have is possibly modeled, and a light out could be a big deal. Fuel pumps are all off. We'll turn on this one once we are ready to get the APU going. Keep going here. Battery, ground power, galley power is on. Standby power is covered. Standby power off. Light is off. Drive lights on. Disconnects are covered. Ground power still on. Transfer bus and source off lights are off. Gen off bus are on because we don't have any generators going yet. Wipers are in the park position. Let's see, our equipment cooling is at normal. Emergency lights are covered. We'll turn the chimes on. Seatbelt signs can come on because we do have the fuel on board. Just completed a long-haul flight from Alicante to Heathrow Airport, London. My first ever successful flight in flight sim. Awesome. Awesome, Nisu. What plane did you fly? And was that in Microsoft Flight Simulator? Or whatever simulator it is, that's always an achievement. Because we're going to turn on the window heat. Probe heat will come on later. Anti-ice if we need it when we're in the air. We're going to keep all these off for now. A320. Did you get the fly-by-wire A32NX mod for Microsoft Flight Simulator? If that's... I asked you which simulator you're in. So, awesome to hear that. It's a slightly easier plane. The A320 is a little bit more automated than this one. Ooh. I don't want to turn it down that cool. See, temps are actually pretty good. We don't need to make it that much different. Oh, wait. Make sure you have a passenger cabin. There you go, still good. Ram door full open, those lights are on. Dual bleed is not on yet because we don't have the APU going. And we want to set our cruise altitude, 37,000. Our airport, actually want our landing airport altitude. Landing airport altitude is going to be, if I can find the chart, is 41 feet, so I'm way over there. It's all about the pressure. And very important. We want to make sure this is, I believe this is, yeah, we just want in that neutral position. Want to keep it set to auto. There's only been a few times where I've had to do man. Awesome. Creepy's got almost a 30-day streak learning Japanese. That's cool. Yeah, you kind of get it. You can kind of get addicted to it. It's really nice. It's a cool way to do it. You know, there's lots of. I mean, there's so many programs out there now. Awesome, Nisu. Yep. Right. I've had a few times back in X-Plane where I had to do this manually because I don't know what. I think I forgot maybe to set this earlier, and so then I had to set it later. But then I had to do manual or something. I can't remember what it was. Alright, lights are where we need them right now. Ignition, I'm going to do right ignition because we are clearly at a place where we have a maintenance base here in Luxembourg. I'm assuming Luxair has a maintenance base in Luxembourg. Alright, let's check all of our passengers are on board. We are loaded, so we're going to release the loaders. We're going to release the air start and air conditioning unit. So that's going to... because we could have probably released those a long time ago when we turned on the packs. That's why it's so loud. Ground power, we will, once we get the APU going. Everything else is set in here. Well, that's weird, the gross weight. Why did the gross weight go down so much suddenly? Doesn't seem right. Yeah, here's gross weight is 58.5. Okay, 58.5, 51.6. Oh, there we go. I was doing that one, and there we go. Now it's right. Good. Okay, so we're gonna bring up that calculator again. We're gonna put in takeoff weight of 58.6. I'm hoping that's what it is, or is it supposed to be like this? There we go. Sometimes they want you to put in with the decimal, sometimes they want it. Thank you for the subscription, Faxi93 over on YouTube. Thank you very much. 58,600 kilos is our takeoff weight. We're gonna calculate, see how this works. Alright, hopefully you guys can. Probably getting cut off a little bit. Okay, so what is this? What is this supposed to tell me? Oh, these are the flex temps? Where do we put in a flex temp like that? Oh, go to N1. Okay, okay. I see. Oh, and then we can put it right here? So I just put in 17 again, or what? Like, I've never got this deep into it on the X-Plane. Whatever temp you want to assume. Well, what am I assuming? how like outside temperature? Like when we take off? Really weird. Oh, so like if I do 49, it's going to not use as much power because it's going to actually take longer to take off. So, probably want to go 49. Okay. It only goes to 49 though, I can't go higher? Because I know in the Airbus, it's like we're usually around 55, 60. Okay, I never knew what the whole flex temp was. Okay, I see. So you're kind of tricking the engines like it's hotter out, so they kind of pull back and that's why usually when like in the A320 when we would do the flex takeoff, it would use a lot less power than just doing full takeoff go around. Okay. Well, we'll do that. We'll see how that works. All right, flaps 5. Center of gravity. Starting a new flight from Aberdeen to Manchester. Cool. Go to our trim. Need to set like a camera where I can see this better. There's the clip. What was it? 6.19. About right there. Okay, get our V speeds in. Trim, it's going to, I don't know how to explain it. It sets, what is it? Does it like set the flaps in a certain position? So that's like that's the default position, and then so what you can do when you trim out your plane, especially your elevator trim, which is what affects like you going nose down or nose up, is that if you get your trim just right, your plane will actually fly level without you having to do anything with your stick. And that's basically what you most of the time want to do. You want it to be there, and then as opposed to having to fight your plane pulling back on the stick to keep it from diving or whatever it is. Same thing if you're doing the trim on your rudder trim or your aileron trim, which would be more your bank. I don't know if I'm explaining it very well, but you're basically think about like when you're on autopilot. Why do we what is so fun about? I don't know if it's fun about autopilot, but what's the thing that I like about autopilot is that it allows me to take my hand off the stick, and I know that the plane is going to stay where I want it to stay in the sky. It's not going to start going down or going up and stalling or whatever, or crashing and nosediving, because the autopilot is automatically setting that trim, and especially on this plane, you'll hear it constantly cycling on that wheel as it's adjusting to keep the plane, the nose where it's supposed to be, and everything else. Yep, and based on a lot of different factors, especially with the autopilot. And so as we get up, you'll see this wheel constantly spinning, adjusting the trim, because instead of fighting with the stick and putting a big input with the stick to because then you're kind of bouncing all over the place. All right, that's my kind of explanation of it. Right now we should start the APU, because I think everything else should be ready. So APU start. Oh, actually, need to get that after there. Notice it's not starting. I don't think it'll start until I do it again. There we go. Let's see, right, jump on it. Whoops, what is going on? There we go. Well, on this plane, it's going to be right here. It's usually tied to your center of gravity. And like right here, it says trim, 6.19, and so kind of just adjust it on here. You can see we're about 6, a little bit. I'm not sure where it is on the Airbus. Well, I know where it is on the Airbus, but I'm not sure. I'm not thinking about it now. I can't. Even on the Airbus, I'm not sure where it is on the fly-by-wire Airbus, if it even is accurate on there or what. Oh, that's right. We just have that profile. You actually need like just find a PDF that has that. I know on this, and then on the CRJ, it's right on the FB on the CRJ, and So, but yeah, the Airbus, it's not in the FMS like this. All right, so the APU should, yeah, you can see the EGT is now up to 4. Actually, go outside the plane. Should be modeled. I mean, the Airbus is. Yep. I'm going to turn these hydraulic pumps on right now. We can also do our gens. And APU bleed on. You can hear it blowing. We're going to switch this. I've noticed on the one tutorial I watched, he did not show and he did not say to do this, but you do need to do this. Because if you don't, switch where you're generating, when you disconnect the ground power, the plane will just shut down. So, go back into this page. We're going to release the ground power. Just set that parking brake. Alright, so the ground power unit.
No, don't touch that!
Ah! Close the doors.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, we did forget about the ice cream. I was gonna remind you about that, and then I forgot. Then I forgot to remind you.
1 hour and 25 minutes. Please note the cabin door is now closed. We ask that you make sure that all devices are in airplane mode and your larger devices are now shut down and stowed. If you have not already, please fasten your seatbelt and verify it is low and tight across your lap.
Now, Nisu, in the fly-by-wire right now in the A320 in Microsoft Flight Simulator, it's not the end of the world if you don't have the trim right. You can do it without it. But if you really want to make sure you got all the little details, yeah, that's how you would do that. Like lately, when I've been flying the A320, I haven't even bothered checking that out and making sure the center that's all correct. All right, COM 1 frequency. Yeah, it's already active. We'll say we got our IFR clearance. We'll try it again. Whoops. You can see I'm tuned to it, but I can't ask for clearance. It's annoying. Yeah, I can't, So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna do it manually.
Luxembourg ground, Luxair 501 with Quebec request taxi for takeoff departing straight out.
Luxair 501 taxi to and hold short of runway 06 using taxiway Lima 1 Bravo 2 Bravo Tree Bravo 4. Contact tower on
It's weird that it's already on the tower.
105 when ready.
It's already on the tower.
Taxiing hold short runway 06 using taxiway Lima 1 Bravo 2 Bravo Tree Bravo 4 Luxair 501.
No, what you need to do if you want it to work correctly, all you need to do is, and I've done this, this is why I usually don't import the sim brief plan on the Airbus, the fly-by-wire Airbus, because if you put in your departure airport and your arrival airport, ATC will then know what you'll be able to interact with the in-game ATC like that. If you don't put in your arrival airport, it won't know what airport you're trying to go to. You don't need to have the whole flight plan. I never put that in, and it was fine. But yeah, lately, it's usually with these different planes, the fly-by-wire tends to work with the in-game ATC because it is based on the default A320 that came with the game, whereas the CRJ from Aerosoft doesn't work very well with the in-game ATC. This one clearly does it. It works slightly, it doesn't work completely though, like the IFR clearance, which is kind of annoying. But if you really want to do ATC, VATSIM's the way to go anyway, right? Okay, so we got our clearance. We even got our taxi clearance, so keep going. Squawk, I'm just going to put it in. I need to kind of set up my own custom views here, because I don't like their quick views. I'll just put in 2000. Yeah, that's the problem. It's like most of my flights, there's just no VATSIM coverage, and And then the issue is if I'm doing VATSIM and, you know, the reason I haven't jumped on the VATSIM both feed is because I really do like using Alpha Indigo traffic and just having all those AI planes. And the problem is the AI planes might be going one direction and the other people go the other way. I don't know what that is. I'll have to look. Alright, we got the altimeter set. 1016. Squawk is set first altitude. We'll just do 10,000 for now. You should put in your courses. You should put in your V2 speed, which is going to be 133. And we're going to get off the ground in an hour versus an hour and a half last time, so we're getting a little quicker. Soon we'll get this flow going where it's like I just do this without having to, you know, refer to something, you know, or I understand what they're referring to. Off flaps, set elevator trim, gangway door, gen bus transfer switch, fuel pumps, all on. All right. Ooh, it actually is raining. I should have trusted the flight plan. So we're gonna go back in here. And, well, that was actually on that QSIM planner, wasn't it? It should still be fine. Let me see if I can calculate again. Yep, no problem. Still the same. But do want to go right here. Wet. And we do need it. See, the speeds have gone down a little bit. 132 is now our V2. Wasn't expecting the rain. Fuel pumps all on, no cross feed. Hydraulic pumps are all on. Anti-collision lights on. Pack left and right off. This checklist has that. That's a very important thing. You won't get your engine started if you keep those packs are still on. Again, on that tutorial I watched, he did not show him. He didn't show him doing that. I'm guessing he did it and didn't realize he didn't show it or say anything about it. So I'm sure a lot of people ran into, like, why isn't my engine starting? Or I just blanked out and skipped over that section. Alright, thrust idle. Check. Cutoff. Check. Alright. We can go into our menu right here. We're going to go to ground services. Is it this one? No. Pushback. We're going to do cross the T. Could do manual, but then I get distracted and we go off in the grass. Cross the T, we need to have our nose pointed. Not a big deal, we can always, whichever way it goes. Remove the chocks already. Okay, we are ready for the pushback. So we're going to start.
Cockpit to ground. Go ahead. We've been cleared for pushback and start. They want the tail to our left. Roger that. Ready to push. Tail to the left. Park brakes off.
Okay, we want this duct pressure to be at 30 psi. Alright, ignition selector. Now in here it says left. That's what I usually did back in X-Plane, but I learned that they typically do the right ignition when they're at a base, a maintenance base for the airline, left if they're somewhere else, both if it's cold or whatever else. Alright, release the parking brake.
Brakes released. Brakes released. Here we go.
I have no idea when XP12 is coming out.
This Luxair flight.
No idea. Alright, so we're going to put the...
as we take you on a journey through Luxembourg to show you the safety features on board this aircraft.
GRD for our engine number 1.
Please stow any luggage in overhead compartments or under the seat.
Once
in
you get to
front of
20
you.
and 2,
If you are seated
Gonna
next
bring
to
up
an
this
emergency
one
exit
switch to idle.
or in the first row, the floor area must be completely clear for takeoff and landing. When the fasten the seatbelt sign is on, you are kindly requested to fasten your seatbelt and pull it tight as demonstrated. To unfasten, lift the metal clip. For your own safety, we recommend to keep your seatbelt fastened during the entire flight. This aircraft is equipped with 6 emergency exits, marked with the word exit CT, 2 in the front, 2 over the wings, and 2 at the rear. Illuminated strips on the floor lead to these exits. Please note the nearest exit. In case of an evacuation, please leave all your belongings behind.
Alright, engine 2, set to ground. Watching for N2.
In the unlikely
20%.
event of loss in cabin pressure, oxygen masks are automatically released from the cabin ceiling. In this event, pull one of the masks towards you to start the flow of oxygen. Press it
Every once in a while we
firmly
get a
over your
kind of a
nose and
freeze up.
mouth. Secure the elastic band around your head and breathe normally. Put on your own mask before assisting other passengers.
Parking brake set. Brake set.
An inflatable life vest is located under your seat. If instructed, remove it from the pouch and slip it over your head.
Alright, steering pin is
Wrap the strap
disconnected. Watch
around
for
your
slip release.
waist.
Guidance on your left. Have a good flight.
Attach the buckle and pull it tight. Only when outside of the aircraft, pull the red handle to inflate the vest. If necessary, you can top up the air through the red tube. The vest is equipped with a signal lamp, which will light up automatically.
Still doesn't
in
wipe away the
water.
rain.
During taxi, takeoff, and landing, please fold away your tray table
Alright,
and put your seat in
Gen
the
1,
upright
Gen
position.
2.
If your electronic device has a flight mode
AC
function,
selector.
please enable it now.
Go
Mobile
here.
phones and tablets with
Select
flight
either
mode,
1 or
as
2.
well
We're
as
going to go
all
1.
other non-transmitting electronic devices
And then turn off the
may be
APU.
used during the
Turn off the
entire
APU
flight.
bleed. Turn
For
on
safety
our
reasons,
packs
larger
to
devices such as
auto.
laptops must, however, be stowed away for taxi,
Pitot
takeoff,
heat
and
switches.
landing, and during turbulence.
Pro heat
For
on.
further
Window heat as required.
information, please contact
Engine
the cabin
anti-ice,
crew.
wing anti-ice.
This is a
We're
non-smoking
going to keep an
flight.
eye on that. It is
Smoking in
raining.
lavatories is
So
strictly
as we go up,
prohibited. This also
probably gonna wanna
applies
turn
to
those on,
electronic cigarettes.
but we don't need those on just yet.
Carefully read the safety
Yaw damper on,
instructions
flaps.
which you find at your seat. They contain important information in case
click
of
here.
an emergency. Please comply with pictograms, placards, and crew instructions at all times. On behalf of Luxair, we hope you have a great time on board, in Luxembourg or anywhere else we might take you.
And continue with that. Flaps auto brake set to RTO. Let's see. Pushback is at an end. Taxi lights on. Runway turn off lights on. TCAS test. Not sure where we do test. Oh, we press it. There it is.
TCAS test pass.
Okay. And TCAS set the tar up. Really? I don't think we set the tar up while we're taxiing. We'll get that later. Alright, taxi cleared. We are cleared for taxi. Alright. So, here we go. Use the parking brake. And it only took us an hour to get going. Passengers are grumpy. Viewers are grumpy. We're going the wrong way.
Cabin is ready.
need to go to the other end of the airport. Of course. I'm having some frame issues today. I didn't have that yesterday or the first time I flew this. Alright, flight director, pilot flying side on first, co-pilot side second, auto throttle armed. And we need to go this way. Spoiler armed. We need the runway heading 58 degrees. So set our heading to 58 degrees.
From the flight deck, this is your first officer speaking. Unfortunately, due to some inclement weather, we're going to be slightly behind schedule. We do apologize for this flight inconvenience.
Oh yeah, this is the first time I've had rain in quite a while on one of these flights. And definitely wasn't expecting it because when I loaded in it was clear. Well, I don't know. We got kind of jumped in the plane and really didn't look around too much. Just focused on getting everything set up. Yeah, this plane's a little bit different than the Airbus. The Airbus, you can basically idle. Once you get rolling, that Airbus will just keep picking up speed, especially if you have any thrust. Now this one, I'm probably at, I mean, you can see where I'm at. So I got a little thrust going in. So we're going to see how we're doing on time. If it's not too late, we'll jump into the X-Cub and we'll fly around San Marino, land there, and then back to Rimini Airport. If it's really late, I mean, I might do that flight either way, just if it gets really late, again, I'll have to turn off the microphone and the camera and go no mic, no cam for that. And then after that, if I am still got the energy, if I'm still awake, I will do a flight. It'll be no cam or anything or whatever it is. Yep. But might do a late night flight in the 737. Maybe do Southwest, do a Southwest somewhere. I think probably I did a flight from Phoenix to San Diego, so maybe I'll do San Diego to San Francisco or LA or something like that. Just to kind of fly this plane a little bit more. Get to the point where it starts becoming second nature again. See, here it is, clearing up. So that's why I was a little wasn't anticipating the rain. Yeah, I'm getting some bad frames. I'm wondering if the frames are because of, like, I got a lot of scenery for Luxembourg, and that might be what's causing some of the issues. Some photogrammetry just over the ridge here, so that might be what it is. This plane typically, except for when I'm looking at these screens, I look at these screens sometimes and I'll get some real frame hits. So, not sure what it is. Yeah, this plane you have to keep the engine spooled up just a little bit, not a ton. Well, right now I'm rolling just under 30. Let's see, idle. Idle's about 20.
For straight out departure at runway 06.
Luxair 501, QNH 29.907, wind 188 at tree. Straight out departure approved. Cleared for takeoff runway 06.
Cleared for takeoff runway 06 Luxair 501.
Okay, now we'll go TCAS. Alright, I don't think there's anything else I have to set. Alright. Yeah, so Luxembourg City right there. I'm trying to think if did we land at runway 6 yesterday, because I'm trying to, let's see, 6 would be or we're gonna be heading east. Where is Luxembourg City in relation to the airport? Yeah. So yesterday we landed on runway. We must have landed on runway 6, and so we're taking off runway 6. So the city is behind us. We flew over the city coming in yesterday at night. We're gonna be taking off away from the city. Yeah, when I turned this off, and then someone said, like, click right here. I can't remember what I did back in X-Plane, because I would always disengage it to land and stuff, which is what you should do. Alright, so parking brake is set. That's how I remember doing that parking brake stuff. Okay, we want the thrust levers in our takeoff setting. So, where is that? Where do we put it? Okay, this is, I guess that's the speed brake. Guessing takeoff setting, you get like right in there. And we release the parking brake. What's the problem? I did arm the spoilers. I figured it was going because I had the parking brake on. And I had the parking brake on for a reason. So, and we got 3 red lights, and the landing gear is up. Autopilot set.
Luxair 501, leading my airspace frequency change approved.
Oh, okay.
Luxembourg Tower Luxair 501 frequency change.
I think you do, though. I always did in X-Plane, and on this chart it did. It's spoiler armed.
Is type 3 miles northeast of
Is that not the spoiler?
3,400 feet. Request clearance to transition Charlie airspace.
Oops.
Luxair 501, Luxembourg approach. Squawk 0 tree 17.
Squawk 0 tree 17 Luxair 501.
Luxair 501 radar contact 4 miles east of Luxembourg, 4,200 feet.
Luxair 501.
But here it says you get there is a thing that says spoiler and you should arm it. So, and yeah, maybe you don't. I don't know. Oh, really? Okay, let me get back in there. Oh, yeah. So you want to pull up to up and then back down to off. Okay. Yeah, so you can keep hearing you hear the trim moving. So that's constantly adjusting the elevator trim. Go standard pressure. We can retract our... I think we bring in the retractable ones first. That's what I saw.
Luxair 501, contact Brussels Center.
Should have started the clock.
5.0.
Auto brake off. Spoiler disarm. See here it says spoiler disarm. Landing lights off. Runway turn-off lights. Wheel well. AP altitude set.
018,400 feet.
Luxair 501, Brussels Center QNH 29.907. Continue as planned.
I'm sure there is some. I'm sure it is simulated. Well, I don't know if the hydraulics would explode, but it could. Maybe. Who knows?
127.6 Luxair 501.
All right. We're at 10,000, so we're going to keep...
Luxair 5,019,800 feet.
Whoops. We're going to 37,000. Yep, I need to set that to 10.
You're now passing through 10,000.
That's going to be my next thing I do.
You can now turn on your larger portable electronic devices.
You're leaving my
As a
airspace
reminder,
radar service.
please
Terminated squawk
fasten while you're seated and do not
7000.
congregate in the galley.
Frequency change approved.
This aircraft is equipped with onboard Wi-Fi. If you wish to
Squawk
connect to the Wi-Fi, you will be
7000.
required to pay a small fee.
Frequency change approved.
You offer
Luxair
complimentary
501.
in-flight TV thanks to our partners.
Luxembourg approach Luxair 501 is type 13 miles southeast of Luxembourg 10,000.
I think it goes to 25. That's on the one tutorial from a guy who really flies this in real life. He said they go to 10 and then they go to 25 when they hit that transition on the star.
Squawk 535 Luxair 501.
Luxair 501 radar contact 13 miles northwest of Echo Delta Romeo Juliet 10,400 feet. QNH 29.908.
Alright, seatbelts are going to go off for now.
501.
Luxair 501 contact Ring Center on 128.9.
Now he was talking about that if you have these clouds, you're going through clouds like this, clouds like this are going to give you some turbulence. If you're going through the clouds on your climb, and it's you do want to have your anti-ice on. You don't have a ton of clouds though, so. A lot of it's coming. I mean, for me, a lot of it, I still recognize a lot of it. It's just kind of like, okay, where exactly is that? And then trying to integrate some of the extra stuff that the PMDG has that I didn't play with, that I didn't really touch. I mean, the Zebo mod over, like, the difference between PMDG and the Zebo mod back in X-Plane is I never did the PMDG plane, so I didn't know, but the Zebo mod obviously didn't have all the ground carts and all that stuff, but basically everything else, it seemed like almost everything else was there, and they were adding it, and I don't know where they are now. They're called Level Up now, actually, over there, and they have a bunch of the variants. Originally it was just the 737-800 default in the game, and kind of upgraded the same way Fly-by-Wire's doing the A320. So that's what I flew. So I flew this plane a ton. I need to go and see if I can find a screenshot of my cockpit, like what it looks like in X-Plane, because I don't recall some of this stuff I remember, like, obviously down here, your different pages. What is this one? I remember using these quite a bit, actually, for something. Yeah, Can't remember how to do that, but I remember using those for something. I've forgotten more than I know. I believe I did an RNAV. I think the first flight I did was RNAV into San Diego. When I didn't stream that one, but I don't think I had ILS or anything. It was just RNAV. For some reason, that like one runway at San Diego only has RNAV and the other one's ILS. I don't really understand what I don't know what RNAV is, to be honest. Like for me, I've always done like ILS, and then in X-Plane I tried to do ILS as much as I could. I don't know what I did. Precision GPS. So why is it fun? Like what makes it fun? Alright, so we are flying out. Right now we are headed south, yeah? Yep. South, just a little bit southeast. Coming up on Golf Tango, Quebec, which is the VOR at Grostequin Air Base in France. Actually, on our departure, we flew a little bit over Germany, slightly. I'm not sure how how they do the airspace, like paying for the airspace, flying over a certain country's airspace. How they do it within Europe? If it's all like because it's the European Union or something, I don't know. Because that'd be a pain in the butt. Because that's a big thing right now, like going on with a lot of these Russian airlines. When the whole thing there started, like Canada restricted Russian airlines from flying over their airspace. Well, there were Russian airlines in the air at that point, and they contacted the controller, and the controller's like, oh, did you check the latest NOTAM? And pilot's like, you're gonna have to tell us. And it's like, yeah, you can't fly over Canadian airspace. Which is a big deal, because I would think the planes that I couldn't remember where they were flying from, but especially if you're doing they were definitely doing a transatlantic, and so now you completely got to reset all that. And obviously, what was I watching? It was 7-4 gear. It's like he said, it's like if you have to cross into their airspace and you have to land because you have no fuel because there's no other way you could go, you got to do it and deal with the international incident. Better than obviously crashing and do your job, and then if people want to start shooting nuclear weapons, missiles at each other over it, well, you did what you could do. Yeah, you don't have the glide path. Oh yeah? See, I was always wondering, it's like, what do you do? Well, it was weird, because when I did the RNAV, like, I noticed like on the CMD here, there was like a little, they still had the VNAV, that little tiny pink arrow that pops up for VNAV. Like here you see, right now we have the LNAV one, I think. I don't think we have the VNAV one because we're not descending. We don't have like certain points we need to hit yet. Once we start descending, you'll start seeing that needle. Yeah, basically, I did ILS as often as I could in X-Plane, and then when I came over to Flight Simulator, I kind of picked up how to do VOR. The concept, how to kind of switch your map to that VOR view, and lining the needle up and all that. And those are kind of fun. In these bigger planes, though, it seems like you have your track, it's all planned out into there, and you have waypoints, so you're lined up with the runway no matter what.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, that's who I've been watching. So when I was calling, I think I sent him, I did make a comment on a few of his videos, because I watched like most of the early ones, just how do I get started, how do I get everything started, because I did everything, and then I switched, I disconnected the ground power cart, and my plane shut off, right? And I had forgotten the lesson I had learned, obviously, back in X-Plane. If I don't switch this is very important here. Same with these packs. And when I was watching his tutorial, he didn't mention it, though. And he didn't mention these packs, and so then I pushed back while watching his tutorial. I was pushing back, trying to start my engine. My engines wouldn't go. And I'm like, he didn't talk about turning off the left and right pack. So people who are brand new, and maybe he did, and again, maybe it just, I completely missed it, or I don't know, but... So I kind of called him out on it on a comment. It's like, you didn't, there were a few points where you didn't mention a very important step, like switching where you're, switching to APU generator, switching to Gen 1, switching from ground generator to APU generator, so that when you disconnect the ground, electrical, your plane doesn't just completely shut off. Is there a full flight tutorial that comes with the airplane? I didn't even... Is it in that folder or whatever? Totally skips engine start procedures. Yeah, that's always weird. It's like, I think the CRJ one, the Aerosoft CRJ, that they had a really good... Their document one was very in-depth and complete, I think. So I'm surprised PMDG is missing some things. Well, it surprised me that on his video, if I'm not wrong, and again, I might have just missed it, but that he didn't mention, and he didn't even show it. Like, it didn't even, when he was doing it, he didn't even change the generator. And it's like, okay, and he was using an earlier version. It wasn't the released version, so maybe that wasn't modeled yet. But again, you'd think those are very important steps. So I'm going to mention them all the time when we're starting up. I'm going to highlight it because I know that was something I screwed up many times in X-Plane starting up this plane. Is I would, I'd forget to switch from ground power to APU gen. I'd disconnect the ground power, my plane would shut off, and I'd be at a loss. Like, why did that happen? Oh, I didn't turn on my APU gen. I didn't switch to the APU gens. Again, Airbus, you don't need to do that. It just goes, if something's generating power, and you turn off the other thing that was generating the power, it will switch to that one, right? So if you have the APU going, and you also have outside electrical power, take off the outside electrical power, it'll switch to that, it'll use the APU power. You turn on the engines, you turn off the APU, it'll go to the engine power. It just does that. Yeah, and that's what I'm guessing it was, because he literally, it wasn't like he forgot to mention it and highlight it, it was that he didn't even do it. So it was something I guess he just didn't have to do, and so he didn't even do it. Even though you would think as a real life pilot, he still would have gone through and gone up there and done it, because that's what you do. Even if it's not modeled, you still do it, right? If that's how, I mean, he turned on the radar, even though the radar is not functional yet because the limitations of Flight Simulator right now. But yeah, that's a big thing. When you're on the ground power, once you get the APU going, switch to APU gen, then you'll be able to disconnect that ground power and your plane will stay on. Same thing when you're switching the engines, turn on your Gen 1 or your Gen 2, so that when you turn off the APU, the plane doesn't just shut down. And then starting those engines, make sure you turn off your left and right pack and turn them off. And then also make sure you turn them back on when you are in the once you have the engine started, because I believe if you don't, if you don't have the packs on, you don't get the temperature control, I believe. Also make sure you set your flight altitude. Landing altitude I don't think is a huge deal, but definitely this one, your flight altitude, because if you don't set this, your pressure, this needle and this needle will be at the same place, or they won't be at the same place. I made a mistake. This needle is for your pressure, so we're at 8 psi, but you can see our pressure, our cabin altitude is at 7,500 about, which we can still deal with. But if you don't have this set, it will it'll just go all the way up to here, and you'll be in that red or that yellow, and your passengers will be having problems. And at least in X-Plane, it actually even simulated the pilot. You'd start hearing the pilot heaving. The screen would start kind of going red and black, and the first time that happened, I was like, "What the heck?" And I realized, and there was nothing. I don't think I was able to fix it either. Or I think I eventually figured it out. Like, you go manual, and then you open and close this valve a bunch, and you can kind of get that, or you open the valve to get that pressure out, or whatever you need to do. Yeah, well, like I was saying, it's like you would think he would still go through his flow and be like, okay, I'm disconnecting ground power, or I've turned on my EQ, I need to switch my gen.
Request clearance to transition.
So that was kind of my goal yesterday, is I wanted to really highlight that, because I knew if people were watching the tutorial and he missed that, if he missed it, again, he might have. That'd be weird if they would tell him not to, though, because you're going to put these tutorial videos out. They're going to be the only videos out, even if, even if it doesn't do anything.
127 decimal.
You still want to have that flow. It's kind of.
Center Luxair 501.
It's kind of like even in the fly-by-wire Airbus, it's like the inoperable stuff. It's still a good idea to. Huh. I don't know, that's kind of weird, because you'd think you'd want to have a tutorial out there that is full and ready to go, day of release, right? So that people who have no idea are going to go and they're going to find, a tutorial from, they're going to be looking up the MSFS tutorial. But here's the thing, you don't need to look up the MSFS tutorial. You could look up, I believe when I think the way I learned how to do the 737 back in X-Plane was to actually watched a real life startup of the 737. So it wasn't in a sim, it was like a pilot actually in, maybe it was in a simulator, but in a airline simulator, actually, not just some home thing or whatever. Or it was them actually starting it up and them going through and you watching, oh, okay, that's where that is. Okay, that's I need to do that at this point. Okay. And I think I did that. I think I tried to do that at the Airbus also, because the thing, I have a little bit of a trust, people put out a tutorial, it's like, okay, but is this the way it's actually done? Or are you just getting the plane going? And so that was kind of a cool thing to. Okay, so we're at cruise. Now, do I have to, let me see if this checklist says that. FMC progress page, check fuel consumption. Progress page. Alright, so we're going to be good on fuel. We have 3,000 for reserve. We're going to have 3.9, so we're really good on fuel right now. Center fuel pump off. We didn't have any fuel in there anyway. There are some other things that we could do. We could look at, I know he was talking about that you can actually put in like a step climb to get to a better, maybe a more efficient, like you can get to your destination a little bit faster, save some fuel.
Luxair 501, you're leaving my airspace. Resume on navigation. Contact Zurich Center on 126.225. Good day.
126.225 Luxair 501.
Oh, I was like, why do I have
Zurich
nothing
Center,
on here?
Luxair
Because I didn't turn anything
501,
on.
Flight level 370.
Airports. I just put airports on, and
Luxair 501 Zurich Center. Continue as planned.
what's traffic? That's the weather radar, isn't it? Yeah, so terrain. Data's a good one to have. It's gonna take some getting used to. Like I was saying on last night's stream, like when I fly the Airbus now, it's kind of the same. I actually feel way more comfortable probably even in the Airbus than I did in this plane back in X-Plane. It's not gonna be a heli. It's gonna be I'm gonna fly in like an X-Cub, so a small plane. Now I'm gonna have to trim the crap out of the thing. I don't know if I have a mod for an X-Cub, and that's probably the problem, is that the mod's out of date, I'm guessing. so I probably should just like pick one of the default planes or something. Maybe I will, I don't know. Maybe I'll pick like the VL3. I like that VL3 plane. Maybe I'll switch to that one. I'd like the X-Cub too, it's kind of a cool plane, but we don't really need it because we do have a runway to land at. So we could take that like VL3 and swoop around. Because I think I have like this X-Cub modification mod from what are the guys called? What are they called? Where are they? Bush League Legends. And they do a ton of bush flights, and they literally made their own. I can't really see it very well. It's too small, your profile picture on my screen. Yeah, but they made some modifications to the X-Cub, and they got some different variations, bigger tires and stuff for their bush flights. Ton of liveries, but I'm thinking that I'm thinking there's some issues with it because it's probably out of date. The last time I checked for an update was whenever I first downloaded it months ago. So, but we're going to be taking some kind of plane, smaller plane in there. Alright, we're over Switzerland right now. Actually, that's Zurich. I think that's Zurich right there, yeah. Yeah, put a link. I can't, yeah, otherwise I can't really see it. Alright, so these are all the default preset camera views. Okay, so that's gonna be this one right here. This is Control 9. That's for the EFB or something that's gonna be there eventually. Yeah, it feels different, but I think it's just because the way, like, where you sit in X-Plane is a little bit different. Something. Even though, maybe, I don't know. It's just, I think I'm so used to the Airbus that now this does feel different, even though I flew this plane over 100 flights or whatever. I don't have the HG, I don't think so on this plane. I just go by whatever they have, because of the liveries. I'm not sure if every livery that comes out, like made by people and put up on flightsim.to or whatever, I'm not sure if all those, like how you can input information, whether, you know, what panel it has. But basically what I'm doing, because I think, and I might be wrong about this, oops, is that, what is that clicking? Weird. What is that? But that the liveries, yeah, every livery has its own default equipment. Yeah, I can still change them. I'm just going to default equipment right now. I think that's kind of cool. I do prefer this panel for sure. I'm not sure about these. I have to kind of look and see what I had in X-Plane. I don't remember these as much, like this section right here. But yeah, this was the panel I always used in X-Plane. I didn't have that the Honeywell one. Screw is for easy toga button. Really? Huh. Instead of hitting this, instead of hitting the toga button right there. I need to make a special profile for, obviously I need to make a profile for my controls for this plane and a special one for the Airbus and everything, because like I have this orange button on the side of my Thrustmaster throttle that I think back in X-Plane I had set for this, for the toga, and I think in the Airbus I have it set to do reversers. Because I don't have my thrusters set up that go in reverse. Now does the 700 just not have reversers? Because I could have sworn the 800 did. I could have sworn I used reversers. Yeah, obviously that's why they do it. That's why you said it was kind of like an easy toga button. It's not a real life thing, but they put it there because, yeah, so you don't have to look away. Cool. Yeah, all the little secret buttons they got around. That's kind of, I mean, that's a cool little nifty thing because, yeah, I mean, if you're playing just with mouse, you don't have all the things set up. It is kind of a pain in the butt to try to hit this and be able to see. Obviously, best thing to do is either figure out the keyboard shortcut or, you know, wire it up to your flight stick, to a button on your flight stick or on your throttle or whatever. Yeah, I really like that you have all these little secret buttons here for the speed brake. You don't have to try to pull it. Because I think, yeah, like in X-Plane, it was very easy to just pull it where you wanted to, and it wasn't that difficult. Flight simulators was much more difficult to do it. Same as the flaps, so you just click, oh, I want flaps 15 degrees, boom, click it, goes there. So, those are pretty cool, there's some of those. I don't know what other ones there are yet. Oh, with the default bindings? Yeah. Yeah, I'm still so new at, like, all the default keys. Like, I don't use a ton of the... I basically use mostly my mouse to interact with most buttons and everything. I have a few things. I have my, like, flaps. I have set to a couple buttons on my stick in my default version. I think trim I have set to things on the top of my stick, one way or the other. That's parking brake, I think I have set to something, but I can never remember which button it is on my joystick. Landing gear, the same thing, but I usually landing gear, I just use the G key on the keyboard. Barometer, usually I'll just set it by hand, but if I can't find the actual barometric like data somewhere, I'll just hit B and get that quick way to do it. But yeah, those I only use a few default bindings. I mean, everything's still default, but I typically interact with everything just like this with my mouse. Because I'll end up hitting the wrong key and things start falling apart. Like, I always screw up in the Airbus. I hit to get the flashlight on, I think is left control L, something L. But if you do the wrong one, then all your lights turn on or all your lights turn off. You can turn your power off, and it's like, I don't want all that stuff on my keyboard because I'm going to hit the wrong key combination and my plane falls out of the sky. Alright, we're coming up on Rezia, and then we'll be transitioning into the Milan airspace, controller space. Over the Alps right now. The Alps. Just south of Liechtenstein, where we will, well, we're going to be flying to San Marino. Hey, Classic Evil, thanks for the raid. How are you doing? I've actually woken up. I got up today. Hey, Prayer Warriors. It's kind of a weird day today because I had yesterday off. And I think I only got 6 hours of sleep because I wanted to get up. I think I didn't go to bed until 8 in the morning, and then I wanted to get up 2 in the afternoon to do stuff, you know. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard working at night during the summer. During the winter, it wasn't as big a deal because, like, well, what are we gonna do, right? You know, especially lately, and you know, there's not a ton of snow, so we're not doing sledding or whatever, but and we were just in baby mode at that point. Just, okay, I'm coming home, we're just dealing with this, we're not really going out and doing things. But now summer's coming around, and it's like, okay, you want to spend a little more time doing things, but the way my schedule works, I get home from work, by the time I, you know, eat and then get ready for bed, it's about 7 o'clock. Well, if I want to get about 7.5 hours of sleep, 8 hours, I'm not getting up until 3 in the afternoon, and then I have like a couple hours, and then I have to go to work. Or if it's my night off, okay, I have a couple hours, and then I want to stream at 7:30. So there's not a lot of time to do things. To fit in streaming and doing things outside in the world. Which is why I'd love to be able to stream even later at night. But then I'm keeping everyone else up in the house talking to the microphone here. But yeah, so I got up about 3 in the afternoon yesterday, and then I streamed. I think I streamed, and then I don't know what I did after that. Yeah, I didn't really do anything after the stream. I didn't end up doing another flight or anything. I think I kind of did a quick, just setting up, figuring out, like, looking at different checklists to see which one I like the best. Feels good for flow. I don't know. I haven't seen him in a while. I haven't seen Cody in a while. And yeah, but then yesterday I went to bed at 3 in the morning. You know, usually I stay up until about 6 or 7. You know, to kind of keep on the same schedule if it was a work night. But I went to bed a little earlier. Not as early as I probably should have, because I wanted to be able to get up at like 9:30 to go to church in the morning, and then have the rest of the day kind of be more normal scheduled. So then we did that, and about walked over, got some hot ham and rolls, which is a Wisconsin thing. You know, got back, and about 3 o'clock started watching the Bucks Celtics game, and that didn't go the way we wanted it to at all. Oh no, it's not from that one call. I've heard from him since then.
Contact Milan Center on
I know he was trying to do like a podcast or something, and yeah, he's trying to do different things. I don't know.
124
Dang it, Bulldog.
5 Luxair 501.
Well,
Milan Center Luxair 501 flight level
it's just
370.
that series was. I mean, that was a great series. It's just amazing. Like by the end of that game, the score was reflecting what it should have, because at that point where I think the third quarter, beginning of the fourth quarter, again the Celtics were up only 14 points again. I was like, okay, this is still well within reach. If the Bucks can, hit 4 3-pointers, you're right back into it. I mean, and that was the difference. And that was the amazing thing, is that the Celtics had, I think at that point, they showed the stat and it was like 17 made 3-pointers to the Bucks 3. Yet the game was still within 10 points. And it's just amazing. It's like, wow. That means you take away the 3-pointers, and the Bucks are hanging in this, even though the Celtics are just dropping 3 after 3 after 3, and the Bucks are doing it in the paint and with 2s. But it's just not going to last, because you scoring 2, and especially if you're not even scoring the 2, and then Celtics going the other way and dropping another 3, and it's just and that's how in the middle of the fourth, it kind of just was like, okay, now it's over. Because Bucks have yet to hit a 3. Yep, I have another monitor. Yep, I have a monitor right over here. So like when I'm looking over that way. But I do have like an overlay showing your chat, so I don't have to, because if I'm reading your chat, then I'm just looking like this the whole time. Even though I do watch some streamers where it's like you watch them playing the game, their camera's more looking like this. So I don't know which one I like better yet. For my setup. Alright, we're starting to come out of the Alps. It's not gonna be too long here. Oh, the great thing is we do have VNAV, and so as long as see, there's our top of descent. So make sure in this plane with VNAV, you want to set a lower altitude than where you're currently cruising at. What I'm going to do, so I'm just going to put it there for now, but I'm going to find a good altitude that I want to get to, like a target, and that's going to be on our star. I'll bring that up for you guys. Kind of look at it together. So you can see where we are right now. Northern Italy. We'll be going over Vicenza and Padua. Okay, so basically we could target 6,000 feet. And actually, you don't have to do that. In real life, you're gonna go with like your first cleared or whatever. So if they clear you to 20,000, you put in 20,000. Since we don't have ATC, I'm gonna go down to basically where we need to be for our approach. You can see right here, VOR. So we're not gonna fly into the VOR and then back out. But if we were doing that, VOR is 4,000 feet. But right here, 12 miles out, it's going to be that point right there. We want to be at 3,000 feet, and we're going to capture the glide slope at 9.4, and then come on in. So 3,000 feet, that's going to be our target. That's what we're going to put in for the altitude. And the great thing with VNAV is that it will begin descending at the top of descent. It will just start doing it on its own. So we don't have to worry about missing our top of descent. We don't have to worry about ATC coming over and telling us to descend. Obviously, in real life, typically they will say you are cleared to this point, or you'd ask for clearance, or however that works. In the Airbus, I typically, if we didn't have the ATC, what I would do is I would set a fix. And you can also do that with, in here obviously, you can set a fix. I can't remember what there's the whole complicated math equation to figure out Usually it's about 100 miles, typically. So here, we'll go fix. Radar fix, we're doing runway. I think we just do RW, right? For runway. Runway. We're coming in runway 31. That work? See a distance, 324. I don't know if that's the right one. Let's see. Oops. That's not what I wanted. The slash and then 100. Just delete that. Slash 100. Oh yeah, it's going from the runway there. So you can see it's our top of descent's a little bit after that. We could also set a fix. I think he did. I'm trying to think what he had for the fixes. I think it was like 4 miles. If you set a fix for 4 miles, because that's going to be where you want to drop your landing gear. Well, it's still too small. That's the problem. Even on that monitor, it's too small. I can't. Like in the chat, it's actually smaller on that monitor than it is on here. So I don't know if he sent a link or not. I don't think I ever told him the seatbelt sign was off.
The flight crew has turned off the fasten seatbelt sign.
Okay, so you can start seeing the Adriatic Sea right off to our left, and comparatively flat Italy, southern Italy, or Italy south of the Alps. This is what I like about this camera. These couple cameras they have for us that are locked.
Luxair 501, contact Bologna, approach on 133.775. Good day.
133.775 for Luxair 501. Bologna approach Luxair 50,110,700 feet.
Luxair 501, Bologna, approach QNH 30.03, continue as planned. Luxair 501, contact Milan Center on 124.925. Good day.
124.925 Luxair 501. Milan Center, Luxair 50,110,000 feet.
Luxair 501, Milan Center QNH 30.03, continue as planned. Luxair 501, contact Bologna, approach on 133.775. Good day.
Going to 133.775 Luxair 501. Bologna approach Luxair 50,19500 feet.
Luxair 501, Bologna, approach QNH 30.03, continue as planned.
Bye, Kwan. Yeah, sorry, I was dealing with diaper, and then he just literally spit up like 5 seconds ago. Alright, we're below 10,000 feet, so we're going to turn on the landing lights and runway turnoff lights. Seatbelt signs are on. Hey, CW Simulations, yeah, glad to have you back. Just flying in the PMDG 737. Alright, so descent preparations begin 30 nautical miles before top of descent. We didn't really do that. Auto brake set. I'm gonna go with 3, just because I don't know. I don't think we have reversers, which is weird. Let's see. Departure arrival menu, we did that. Star select, transition, we did all that. Route page. Hit ref page. Hit the copy flap. Okay, we need to do that. Make sure we have our... Let's see if we get our airport clearance. Rimini.
Rimini Tower Luxair 50,112 miles east, 7,400 feet to land.
Luxair 501, Rimini Tower. QNH 30.03, wind calm, make right base runway tree 1.
Make right base runway tree 1 Luxair 501.
Yeah, I exclusively flew the Boeing 737-800 in X-Plane back before, a couple of years ago, back before I got Microsoft Flight Simulator. It was I think it was the only airliner. Well, I think they had the 747, but similar to how Microsoft Flight Simulator, the Airbus, the A320, you have fly-by-wire, making that an excellent piece of craft to fly. That's what Zebo did. There's a Zebo mod over in X-Plane where he really upgraded the default 737-800 over there. Alright, so we need to actually set our... Got some stuff to set and kind of slacking off here. Index, approach. We're going to go flaps 30. ILS is in there, that's 109.3. Course 304. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to also set course right here. I think if you don't have the course, I always remember setting the course, and I think you have to have your course here for the ILS once you hit approach right there. Yeah, I'm still going to fly the A320X. I mean, it's grown on me. Obviously, it's the only plane, like the only really good plane that I've flown in you know, airliner and X-plane that's like really, you know, detailed. Most everything else is, you know, the 747. You know, I don't have the salty mod. I haven't kept track on the 747. 787, it's doing okay with having division mod. Alright, so we need to be at 3,000 feet by the time, I mean, we should be because we're on VNAV. We're already down to 200 knots, so speed looking good. Speed brakes activated. We're armed, spoilers armed. Landing lights, runway turn off lights on. Yeah, thrust reverse. I'm wondering, maybe I don't know how to do the thrust reversers since there are any thrust reversers. Alright, we should actually be at, there's our... Oh, there they are. That's what it is. So I'm gonna have to... Actually, let me... I wonder if it still... Because I'm on my default map, which is mapped for the Airbus. And I have a button. So we'll see if that activates them. I don't know if it does. That's right. That's right. They're on these knobs up here. I was like, why is there no... Because on the Airbus, you pull it further back. No, I don't actually do that on the Airbus. I just press a button and then throttle back up. Because... Alright, yeah, I'm gonna see if those work. I mean, I could have sworn I tried it, but... Okay, so we're gonna start deploying our flaps. Gonna go flaps 2 degrees. Get to 5 degrees here. Yeah, see, every once in a while I get a nice freeze like that. Alright, so now we're heading north into the airport. Yeah, they have those separate levers. I want to get... I think I missed the glide slope already. Oh, again and again. How do I turn off that sound? Oh man, these warning sounds, it's like, where do I turn it off? Alright, I'm flying it by hand because we're a little bit high. Missed the... Alright, what warning is that and where do I clear it? Oh, there we go. Oh, I see this. Oh, it's the altitude.
Cleared to land runway tree 1 Luxair 501.
130. Approach speed. Alright, so I turned off the auto throttle, turned off the autopilot. We're just going to fly this in by hand. Landing gear is down. Well, that's what I thought it was. I thought it was the landing gear warning, but the landing gear was down and it was still fussing about it. And there we go. We're just about caught the glide slope now. I don't know what I got distracted by where I missed the hitting the approach button. I was like, I gotta hit the approach button then. And then 5 seconds later, I forgot to hit the approach button. So, it's typically how I do things now. Ah, okay. I had my flaps down too far before the landing gear. Yeah, go around is 3,000 feet. This one is a little bit more movement to it than the fly-by-wire.
200.
Too low on speed.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Yeah, that didn't work for the reversers. I'm gonna have to. When I press that button, it just went into. Maybe I have the wrong. Maybe I'm clicking the wrong button. Oh yeah, I probably am. Oh no, that's the landing gear one. Nope. Huh? That is the button I have set to.
501, turn next taxiway.
Oh well. We'll figure out those reversers
Gentlemen,
eventually.
welcome to Italy. The local time is
Okay,
1:41
which way do I go?
p.m.
Ugh. What the heck is the terminal? Right.
During the flight. We thank you for flying with us.
Luxair 501 exit runway when able. Luxair 501 contact ground on 1.1.225.
Going to 1.1.225 Luxair 501.
Alright, let's see. We got. I have to stand by. Huh. That's weird. Yeah, I need to get the cabin layout for that because the one that comes with Pack X, it only has like a max of 122 passengers or whatever for the 700, which is weird. I need to find one for the A321X as well because SimBrief always puts more passengers than Pack X allows, it seems. Let's see, what are we doing? We are... Check our... Alright, transponder is standby, flight director's off, spoilers are off, flaps set to 0. Auto brakes off, taxi lights on, landing lights off, runway turn off light, turn off lights off. Okay, usually you have those on, I don't know. Position lights steady. Window heat off and engine anti-ice off. Landing time, note if needed, APU start, autopilot, reset the bar. Alright, we are good there. Let's see what ATC has to say about parking.
Rimini ground Luxair 501, request taxi to parking.
Luxair 501 taxi to general aviation parking using
Oh no, I haven't yet.
Tango Golf.
Sorry, I haven't, because I just, like I said, I just have...
Taxiing to general
It's hard to
aviation
try
parking
things out.
via
I barely have any
taxiway
time to
Tango
get
Golf
these streams
Luxair
in.
501.
Is that on... is that available on flightsim.to? Okay, taxi Tango Golf. So this is a, I don't know, I know I have a mod for this airport, and that's why the taxiways are correct. I'm not sure how much more is added in this mod. How detailed this airport is. Looks like there's some detail. I don't know if this plane is here by default or not. Yeah, like when I use the nose wheel steering, I have it bound to the tiller. I don't think there's a way to do that for the Boeing yet, but I do know, or I have my nose wheel steering is my joystick, the Z-axis, like twisting my joystick instead of using my rudder pedals. Yep. Yeah, this is actually, yeah, it looks like there's a quite extensive amount of modding at this airport. So yeah, if you're going to be flying into Rimini, make sure you hop over to flightsim.to and check out this mod. You don't end up with just whatever generic stuff you get in Flight Simulator. Alright, we're gonna go to gate 207. And since we don't have a jetway, we're going to use the stairs. Oh yeah, I've got that Gatwick mod too. I got the Ultra one and all that. Some really good airport mods out there for free. Okay. We're going to kind of run through here. Taxi lights off. Parking brake set. Did that. APU gen switch is on. APU bleed on. Selector to APU. Engine 1 and 2 cut off. I love that drone camera. They need to do something about it. You can fix the rotation so it doesn't just tip over. Alright, master warning, disengage, FMC, main menu. Yeah, this little checklist I have goes very in depth, like it tells you how to even do all this inside baseball stuff on the. I want to go to FS actions, ground connections, ground services. Set the wheel chocks. Request the ground power. Air start unit. Probably do some of these if you want. Don't need a fuel truck right now. We're going to do stairs. Okay. Let's go back to, you do the door. You do the doors. Once Once our stairs are there. I guess the stairs aren't actually going to be able to get there because of these guys. We're going to clear those out. Kind of learning which stuff you need and don't need. Release. Don't need air conditioning. Ryanair does not. Ryanair is... I think they're all 737-800s. They might have the MAX 8 now. So... Look at all these carts. I got too many carts going on. Let's see. Yeah, just the 738 and the MAX. Alright. Anyway, seatbelts can come off. You can already hear PACX, they're deboarding. Ground power is available, so we'll click that on. And we'll switch to the ground power. Turn off the APU. Turn off the bleed. External lights position steady. Anti-collision off. TCAS is standby. Yaw damper over here is off. Increase those. I want to get these stairs in here. Oh, these should be up. Have these switches should be off. The engine start switches. Pitot heat switches, probe heat stuff that comes off. Engine start switches both off. Hydraulic pumps all off. Fuel pumps all off. Master warning disengage. And we're going to still trying to get those stairs. Let's see if we get them. Oh, it's because the bus is already out. So I'm going to get rid of the bus first. Trying to figure out the... Yeah, now they're stuck because of whatever. Let's release the bus for now. See if we can get the stairs. It's definitely a different plane, and even different than those two planes, or those three planes. Like I said, I've flown this plane, not the PMDG version, but the Zibo version over in X-plane. Probably 100, 120 flights in that plane before coming over to Flight Simulator. I did 80 world tour flights from New Zealand all the way over to Egypt, exclusively in the 737-800 in X-plane, so... Got pretty familiar with it. Trying to get things back. Right now you can kind of see I've kind of got most of the stuff, regular stuff. Kind of the stuff now that I'm dealing with, trying to figure out is how we can do certain things like this. Okay, so departing. Once those stairs, those come. I think we need to open the doors though. Oh, it'll automatically open. Go back out here, you can see the stairs coming. Oh, that's why it's not letting me start unloading. Okay, so we got both the stairs. We can now... Oh, can't we plane? Oh. Okay, well, this is kind of Like, I don't know how you do that. Not a big deal. So, Pack X, that is done, so we'll check the Pack X flight here. All our passengers are off. And flight. And landing rate, again, just around 150. So that's 2 flights in a row. I've gotten that. Good. Yeah, we'll close this for now. And go back here. I'm going to bring up Volanta. And we'll review our flight post-mortem here. Alright, so there's our flight. We had a little... Obviously, I think we took off in this storm. A little bit of that rain kind of was passing over as we were taking off. And, yeah, I mean, no real crazy stuff going on this flight. And landing rate... I think yesterday my landing rate was 150, so 158, so we're doing pretty good landing. Landing speed, this time we were about 4 or 5 miles, or knots slower than we should have been. We were kind of struggling with our speed there. But overall, good flight. We got it landed and off the runway in a timely manner. And just jump over here, give you guys a look at the world tour map. Obviously, we've been into Italy before, so nothing terribly new to see. But I take a look at Europe, and we're going to be flying, we're basically right here, we're going to be flying into San Marino next. And I think we'll have time to do that. So we'll take a quick break so I can set up the next flight. It shouldn't take too long. I just have to load the plane in. And we'll take off and do a little VFR flight over to San Marino, land there, come back, and then we'll call it a night, at least for having the microphone and the camera on. Might do another 737 flight later, but I won't be talking with the microphone and all that. So everyone else will be trying to sleep. There we go, now we can start the planing. Not sure why. But you even got the little bus and all that. And yeah, this is the closest international airport, or yeah, international airport for San Marino. There is a private airport club in San Marino where we're going to be flying. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you guys the link for you guys on YouTube. I'm going to give you the link for the other stream, which will go live once I'm ready to go. In the X Cub. Let me find it. Here we go. Here is the link. It's coming up right about. There you go. There's the link for the X Cub stream. Yeah, that's, some people have said, that kind of crosses. I know a lot of people asking, it's like, well, why don't you fly the 737? Go play an X-plane. But it's like, because I'm doing this world tour in Microsoft Flight Simulator, I want to take advantage of the graphics and all that. And yeah, it's, but I never had the PMDG in the other one, and yeah, I would have preferred, obviously I prefer to fly the free ones as much as I can, but sometimes you gotta make that decision. And yeah, some people are going to do that, and I know a lot of people still do. And the Zebo, what is it, Next Level now, or whatever they're called? Those 737s are really good. Bummer they didn't have all those when I was flying an X-plane. Alright, so, I'm not going to shut everything down to cold, dark. Basically just have to reverse some things. We'll just kind of end it right here. I'm going to go to an intermission screen. For all you guys on Twitch, I'll run a few ads. Just stick around, we'll be back. And for you guys on YouTube, go to that link, and it will go live once I am going live with it. Yeah, same here, CW. I had a ton of... I didn't have all the graphics mods, but I had a lot of orthos, but I just don't want to deal with the orthos, and I'm, again, 2 years. My X-Plane stuff is all out of... I can't even get X-Plane to load because the mods are all messed up now. Because they're 2 years out of date, and I just don't have time to deal with it. I can only deal with one, mod folder at a time. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Alright, so here we're going to go to intermission. And we're going to set up the next flight. And I will see you on the other side, everyone on YouTube and Twitch. Thanks for hanging around, and you go to the intermission screen and run some ads. So if you're on YouTube, we got a bunch over there. Just click on that link and get over to the other stream, and they'll start probably 15 minutes.